We're live. All right. So as we're getting pass these to Blake for me. All right. So we got set up now finally. So again, that note guide right there, it just has a section for notes if you want to write some stuff down that Glavine may say right here. Hopefully this should resonate with a lot of you. Meaning a lot of you, this should kind of hit home right here with you. Peyton, just give me a thumbs up back there when you get the playlist made. I cut the TV on. Y'all can get that slide up. Did y'all find that one slide yet? Okay. All right. With that being said, a couple of you have shared interest in sharing your testimony up here. And starting this month and going forward, I would like to bring one of you up here at least once a week to share in a similar setting. If not, at some point, maybe even turn it over to you and let you give maybe a 10, 15, 20-minute message to the group right here. And so if it's something that after tonight you feel led, I've already talked to two other people about this. I actually had one person come that when they found out you were doing it, came to me last week and said, hey, I think I'm ready to share my story too. So I think this is awesome. This is something that hopefully we're all going to get a chance to do maybe in a small group setting. That was some of the things that you guys, I went through the improvements for the youth group that you put on there. Surprisingly enough, a lot of you put ping pong balls. So I'm going to get some ping pong balls. Eli Mitchell was supposed to bring ping pong. I'm sorry. But somebody was supposed to bring ping pong balls. I'm actually going to put another one of those basketball goals in here. So those little mini hoops back in there. So anyway, so we'll have that stuff going again. So that was actually a lot of your suggestions there were games. But then a lot of you said y'all wanted to break up into small groups. Y'all wanted to get more involved here. Y'all wanted to be more involved for you guys. And so with that, I want you to see that your voice is not unheard. Okay? I know I didn't get the ping pong balls yet, but somebody did tell me they were getting those. But with that being said, this is why that I want to do this, because I want you guys to have ownership of this youth group right here. And so Glavine, if you don't know Glavine, he is a junior at Hoax Bluff High School, plays baseball, varsity baseball. So he's involved in that. What are you, SGA? Senator, whatever. What does that mean? What does the SGA senator mean?
I have no idea.
No idea? All right, so I didn't really know if that.
I just get to go talk on
get to go talk. So what are you?
Historian.
The historian? All right, who's the president?
Bella Lee.
Wow. So, anyways, we won't go into that. Sorry, Bella Lee, if you see this. I didn't mean any harm by that. I was just joking. But anyway, so glad to start us off tonight. We're going to start off. I want you to start off with your story of before you ever got into youth group. What was growing up like for you in terms of church, and what did church look like for you growing up?
Well, I went to a preschool that was a church in Gadsden. I learned pretty much what Ridge and them learning all the time. The books of the Bible. I could sing, all the songs and stuff, and we did the Christmas plays and stuff, and it was fun. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I could recite you stuff like that. I could name off the books of the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. That's something I can't do anymore. But
it gets difficult sometimes.
And then after that, just going to regular school, I never really was in church. My parents didn't want to force church on me because they didn't want me to hate it and to drive me away from it, making me go to church, making me just having to be there. They wanted it to be something that if I chose to do, then I would go do it. My parents have always said that they do their own worship and they pray every night at home, and always encouraged me to do that. And that church, we could go to church if we wanted to. And there's a time period about Easter. I don't know how old I was. Leanna probably knows. She remembers this stuff. Me, Leanna, and Mom and Dad would go to Meadowbrook Baptist Church in Rainbow City. We went there for a little while, probably about a month or two, just because we went to a vacation Bible school and thought that we would like it. But that was basically it. Went to some vacation Bible schools with Bray and Anderson and them. A couple summers. I usually go to one of those a year, just for the free food and the games and stuff.
I mean, you joke, but like that is like the Southern Baptist like running joke is animal crackers and juice at Vacation Bible School is what wins a lot of hearts for Jesus. But I mean, you joke about that, but I mean, it's also a joke about it too. So, but keep on going. So,
yeah.
Vacation Bible School got you here. So
Vacation Bible School would get me in church. Other than that, like I didn't even go to church when like Stovall was feeding us one time, like my 8th grade year. Like church wasn't the place for me. It was what I thought. I was like, I'm good by myself. I'm good on my own. I'm good as long as I'm not making bad decisions. Then I'll be okay. Obviously that's not the case. It catches up with you eventually.
I think that's important. If you're writing anything down or typing anything out, it's hearing what he's saying there about. He thought he was good, right? I mean, you went to church. You grew up kind of in a preschool church. You came to some vacation Bible schools. I'm sorry it had to be with Ray Bearden, but I wish it could have been maybe with Shields or somebody like that would have been more involved in your life growing up. But with that being said, though, I hope you hear what he said, that like at the end of the day, like he realized early on, or he's realized now looking back at it, like just because he wasn't out doing crazy things, something still may not have been right. And at the same time, like what he's saying is, like, just because he came to all those things didn't put him like right with God. It put him in a position to be right with God, but it didn't put him right with God. So Glavine, elaborate. So that's kind of growing up. Now elaborate a little more. What kind of brought you to the youth group in terms of you mentioned like 8th grade Tyler Stovall talking, but then you didn't really like church. You still wasn't going to church,
Right.
But talk about how what brought you into the youth group and what got you coming to church on a more regular basis.
Well, fall of my freshman year, I was learning everything about high school, learning it, getting everything, and just as I was starting to get everything, and I was feeling complacent in the group. I think it might have been Colton or somebody, one of those guys, said that I needed to come to church because it's fun. We play games, we eat. Coach Davis talks. He's good at talking.
Shields said that.
Maybe I'm not sure which one did it.
Thank you, Shields.
I figured I'd give it a try. It was friends was what it was.
And so listen to what I mean. Listen, the guy said just friends got him here. Now I want look up right now. Look at Glavine, look at me right now, and think about the importance of when is the last time you've invited somebody to church. Now, they may say no to you. Glavine's living example of that. He didn't necessarily say no all the time, but he may have found reasons that he didn't come or didn't want to come. And even I can remember when Glavine first started coming, he came for a while, dipped out for a minute,
Yes.
and came back. But think about the importance of what we're about to talk about here in the next 2 seconds about, the importance of friends and who you surround yourself with. I want you to think about your 3 to 5 closest friends right now. And I'm serious when I say this. Really think about, and on that sheet of paper or on your phone, even type out maybe your 3 to 5 closest friends right now. Like your go-to people. Like if you went to your top Snapchat people or your recent text messages or however you communicate, your top 3 to 5, or if you've got a group text, who's in that group method? Who's your top 3 to 5 people that you're running around with? And within that circle right now, look, are they here? And I want you right now to think about those 3 to 5 people and raise your hand if your top 3 to 5 people, all of them are here right now. Good, Drew. Proud of you, Drew. Now, I don't say that to put you down here. I say that to where they at. And if they've got a place they call a home church and they go there on Wednesday night, great. That's awesome. But if right now you can look at your top 3 to 5 and they're not at church, what we're about to get into and the importance of having them here overrides everything else. And I want you to understand that sharing your story isn't always about getting up on this stage and sharing your story. But if you take your 3 to 5 in your circle right there and you say, hey, come to church, and you stay after them about coming to church, and you get committed and stay after, and you make it a point that you're not going to miss church, even if it's just Wednesday night, what we're about to get into and how your life can change, I think, Abby, you can attest to this. Leighton, the 2 recent people that have gotten saved in here can attest to this. And I asked you the other day when we were talking through this to pick a verse right now, kind of that talks about who you surround yourself and friends, who you're friends with, and why it matters. So what verse did you land on? I asked him to. I have no idea what he was about to say. So what verse did you land on right there?
Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm.
What's crazy about that is what I was listening to yesterday morning running. It was that a guy was preaching about parents and children and literally shared Proverbs 13 right there. Listen to what it says. Walk with the wise and what?
Become wise.
Become wise. And then the second part of that is,
for a companion of fools suffers harm.
For a companion of fools suffers harm. And what I love about that verse is who in here has a friend that's going to say, hey, that may not be the smartest thing to do? Who in here has the friend that's an idiot that's going to say, hey, do that, and it's going to be funny? Or who is that friend? Like that, I was both sides of that. Like I was the person that if you said, hey, like this is going to be funny and great, do it. I'm in my 8th grade year. Y'all don't remember this, but do y'all remember the fountain at the mall? Like when it was actually a fountain. Do y'all remember that? So my 8th grade year, after 8th grade graduation, I got dared to run through that fountain. So I strip off my boxers and I take off through that middle of the day. Like I was that idiot that I was going to get a laugh out of. Harmless as it could be, stupid as it could be, like the dumb, like why? Okay, I was also the friend that was going to be like, hey, but I bet you, I dared a kid one time. I don't even know if y'all know what a Awanas is. Like it's like what Devin does downstairs and what Coach Bearden does. Like that's basically a Awanas. Like you had this big giant game time and Bible time and stuff. I was sitting there one night and dared a kid, hey, take this paper clip and stick in this light socket. He did it. Okay. I got kicked out of Awanas, all right? So I can take you to that church right now and show you. I was there whenever it was, Bray, you played that church league basketball. The last time we were there 2 years ago, like that church, that carpet is still there. I can take you to the exact spot it happened and show you the burnt paper clip in the carpet, okay? But I love what the verse says. You walk with wise, you become wise. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded. In other words, those 3 to 5 friends that you have in your contacts right now, on your Snapchat, in your group chat, those 3 to 5 people, if you can't raise your hand and they're all not here, man, make it your mission to get them here. Not because of me, not because of you, but because what we're about to talk about next and how Jesus can change your life. So Glavine, talk about that. Talk about getting saved and what led you to that decision and what were some things maybe that you kind of battled before you got saved that maybe you finally had that moment of God just saying, hey, like make a decision and get saved. So what led you to get saved right there?
I realized really that there was nothing that I could do by myself. And I was always the guy who wanted to do it my way. I wanted to do it by myself. I still am in the good ways, but not the way I was. I wanted to do it my way, and if it didn't work my way, I was going to fix it, and I was going to do it my way somehow. And I realized that there was nothing that I could do by myself, and that broke me down to a point where I needed to change some things. I needed something else in my life. I needed something. There was something missing, and I knew that I needed to at least come to church and figure out if that was something that I needed to change.
And I want you to hear that right there. There was something missing. There was an emptiness. You just always felt like, I may be speaking for you, but you just always kind of felt like maybe there was something else that you were just missing out on. Like there was just a piece of you that was missing, no matter how satisfied you were with results of whatever it was, something just always felt missing.
Yeah, it was like I could have the best day ever, and sometimes it was just hard to just lay your head down at night and feel accomplished. It's hard to explain. I don't know if any of you've ever been there. It's one of those things where it makes the best day you could have in terms of success just feel like, well, what did I do today? It's really weird.
And I would challenge you right now, if that's you, if you lay your head down at night and you kind of feel that emptiness, or maybe you're chasing after things. I don't even know what this word means, what chasing clout means. I don't know what that means, okay? I just hear some of y'all, I don't know what that means. So, but I just hear y'all saying it all the time in my classroom, and it really confuses me. But I think back to when I was your age and the things that I chased after. And I think if you've been here and seen my story, I can line this stage with trophies and plaques of every athletic accomplishment that you can probably get in Etowah County. Starting my freshman year being all county in every sport I touched until I graduated my high school year and being all state.
Like, brag a little bit, huh?
I mean, but I'm saying, same thing you're saying, at the end of the day, like, for what? Because when I chased that and I was going after that, the reason I kept going after those things is because of an emptiness. Same thing with Glavine. He's saying right here that emptiness that he's trying to fill was only filled with Jesus Christ. And it may not be that, this guy, I've talked to him several times, chasing perfection, trying to be perfect in all that he does. Maybe for you, it's not perfection. Maybe for you, it's parties. Maybe for you, it's relationships, male or female, either way. Maybe for you, it's attention from others that you're trying to constantly seek. And maybe that void you're trying to fill can only be filled with Jesus. So, Glavine, talk through kind of the moments before you got saved. What was that like? What was truly getting saved in that moment? It kind of walk through that right quick.
You mean like that night?
That night, the weeks leading up to it, like what all went into like that exact moment?
Well, coming back to church, I came back at the right time. God has a way with all that timing. It's something that you can't. You can't control timing. God's timing is perfect. I've noticed that. When you want something to happen and it doesn't happen, you realize that it happened at this time for a reason. I came back, and the week I came back happened to be the week he was talking about salvation, talking about where you will spend eternity, and I really had a hard conversation with myself of, well, I don't know, where will I spend eternity? I thought I was a Christian, but I guess I'm not, according to this guy. According to the Bible, what it says, I'm not saved, and I won't go to heaven if my last breath is taken right now. So those weeks leading up, I really had a constant turning in my head of, what do I need to do? Do I have to go to the altar? Do I have to say a silent prayer in my head? Like, what do I have to do? And then that night, I don't even remember what he was talking about that night. It was like a big blur. I just was over. Something was just happening in my head. And after church, I was just stuck around, and some other kid was talking to Coach Davis, and I went up to Braden Davis, and I said, "What's he doing over there?" He was like, "I think he's getting saved." And I was like, "Oh." Thinking to myself, and I was like, oh, I knew I needed to talk to him, but I guess that's what I need to go do. And I walked over there, and he knew exactly what it was. I couldn't hide it on my face. And it was a special moment for me, learning about what it meant to be saved, and that I really picked the right path there.
And so, before you got saved, would you have considered yourself a partier?
No.
Would you say you dabbled with a whole bunch of wrong things before you got saved?
No.
And what I want you to hear is you don't have to go down that path. And what I want to do, I want to try with my story is not to glorify the stupid and silly things I did before I got saved. Because I do have a unique story where it's easy to see a change in my life. But you take someone like Glavine right here who's maybe not a partier, that maybe doesn't go out and live a life of just like open sin. But still on the inside, he's living a life where he's lost and battling things and feeling convictions in his own life and his own heart. And I'm betting there's at least one of you in this room tonight that's feeling the exact same way. And I don't want you to question your salvation, but if you're not sure about where you will spend eternity, I do want you to spend a few minutes tonight, stay after it and talk. So Glavine, after you got saved that night, what changed? So like you didn't do, by worldly standards, you didn't go out and do all these bad things. But what changed then? How could you be changed if looking on the outside there was nothing to change?
You could call it small, subtle changes, but these guys right here will tell you that it was an obvious change, but it was a bunch of small things coming together to make a whole new person. Main ones were selfishness. I was a pretty selfish person before Christ. I was very self-centered. Maybe not in an active way, as I'll say, going out and like bringing other people down necessarily, but it would be like there'll be people that had you could tell they were having a bad day or something, and I just passively don't say anything to them, just mind my own business. Like I feel like that was the right thing to do, mind my own business and not try and help somebody. Just because I was being selfish in my acts of saying, instead of trying to help that other person because I was doing good, so I didn't want them to bring me down, when I could have easily brought them up with me and made it better for the both of us. Another thing is what the Bible calls acts or fits of rage. And I don't mean I actually would go out and start screaming and saying bad words and doing stuff like that, but just the little small things irritated me. It would make me it would build up in me, and I would, go home and punch my bed or something soft so that I wouldn't hurt myself. But like, I don't mean harm myself. I mean like punch. I wouldn't go home and punch a wall and break my hand like Bryce.
Like this.
Yeah, but
Bryce didn't punch a wall and broke his hand. He got hit with a helmet, I think.
I know. I'm just messing with it. But like the smallest things would seriously engulf me, and it would ruin my day of the smallest things would happen, and it would ruin my day. I would be just irritated. I'd just get mad, and I'd just keep to myself, and it was not good.
So what verse is there a verse that you cling to that you go to kind of help you get through what you just talked about there, that kind of gets you past that moment of the selfishness and the struggles, maybe fits of rage and stuff, and talking about someone legit breaking their hand, hitting something, like right there is proof of that. So what's your go-to verse right there?
My go-to verse is also the verse that I have on my glove. It is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as if working for the Lord. I love this verse because I'm an athlete, and I like to work hard at what I'm passionate about. And people think that if you go down God's path, then you have to leave everything behind. No, He wants you to go out and work at whatever you want to work at. But just as long as you're working at that, work at it with all your heart, as if you are working for Him. Do it with 100% effort, and do it 100% as if you were doing it for Him. So, and you really should be doing it for Him, and give the glory to Him at the end of your successes.
That's awesome. So, kind of getting towards the end now, talking about kind of what you struggled with before you were saved, and kind of some of the still struggles you go with now. What, looking out, not really trying to call anybody out or anything, but just as a general sense with Stu. Like I said, I am, when it comes to y'all, it's like y'all speak a whole different language than I speak. And so I know that y'all go through some different things than what we did, but as a whole, what are some of the biggest things that you think students y'all's age face in terms of struggles? What are some of the things that you see even in your life and in their life, like combined, like as together, like what is it something kids your age struggle with the most, you think?
Well, it's kind of a thing of like following. There's a better way to put it, but that's all I can think. Following and just doing what the crowd does. And it's not that it's always all bad. It's just that some of the things aren't lifting up to others sometimes. It's going and trying to fit in or be cool. I mean, it's hard to, that's not what I'm looking for, but just going along your day and just doing what everybody does instead of, being your own person and, doing what you need to do to bring others up and to Christ. And another big one is temptations. Just it's hard when somebody tempts you with something. You want to. Human nature is to try all things and figure them out for yourself. But some things you just have to know in the back of your head. You have that conscience, especially if you're saved. You have that conscience that says, "Hey, no, this one right here is just not a decision you need to make, and you need to try because this could go down the wrong path."
And I think that when it comes to temptations, it's important. We're all going to be tempted differently. That's what I want you to hear tonight is that you're what you're tempted with may not bother me. And I know that there's a couple of grown men in this room that I can't remember what the statistics are. I wish Kyle Strickland was in here about the number of adult men that struggle with porn. And that's something I can honestly say that I've never had an issue with. And I'm not trying to brag. My issue was always with anger and alcohol. That was always my issue. That's always what was tempting to me. That was always what my temptation was to go that direction. When something don't go my way, let's get mad about it first and let's destroy everything first and then come back and try to fix it later. Or when I was in college, it was I'm going to try to destroy my body with things, with alcohol and different things like that. And so temptation is going to look different for everybody. So understand that. But I think it's important to identify your temptation, know what is going to tempt you. Like Glavine was talking about, the temptation's there. You've got more temptations at your fingertips right now than you could ever have before. And so I'd encourage you, have a plan. Like, how are you going to combat the temptations of your life? And I talked to Glavine a little bit. Glavine, what's one way that you're able to kind of fight off some of these temptations in your life?
My favorite way of figuring out a way to make a decision or something in the battle things is what I call text message prayers. It's very similar to just getting out your phone and shooting a quick text to your friend. You just close your eyes real quick and you just say, "Lord, please help me with this decision. Please give me some clarity in this sense. Give me some peace of mind here to help me." And it doesn't have to be a long prayer like you say when you wake up and when you go to bed. It's just a small one that, nobody even has to know that you prayed. You just a little something to help you you're telling God that you need help, and He's gonna deliver every time.
So that's awesome. I asked you to do this. If you came up with one, great. If you didn't, I can end us here tonight. Did you come up with a Bible verse to end us with?
I did not come up with a Bible verse, but I got something.
You got something?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's why I asked you either way, Bible verse or whatever you want to end us with.
It's short something, but I just want to encourage all of you tonight that moving forward, whether you're saved, not saved, I don't care, whatever it is. If you when you have the good days, and when everybody's gonna have good days, bad days, good moments, bad moments. But if you take anything tonight, please give the glory to God at the end of the day, no matter what it is. Especially when it's hard on the good days to not come home and feel proud of yourself. Pride will eat you alive. it's eaten me alive. I was a very prideful person before Christ, and these guys know it more than anybody because I was around them every day. But it's okay to be proud, but don't let it become a thing to where you doing something makes you feel good about yourself so much that it gets in the way of other things. Go home after you accomplish something and just say, Lord, this is yours. I don't need it. I did this for you. Go out there. I went out there and I did what I wanted to do, but I'm gonna give it to you, and that's all. And it kind of clears everything, and you come down and you allow yourself to be a little bit more level-headed.
Well, Glavine, that was fantastic, man. I'm not only as what I would consider a mentor, a coach, a youth pastor, a friend of, I was a friend of your dad's before I was any of that to you. I couldn't tell you how proud I am of you to see. Brooke makes this comment all the time. It's not just about you, but in the sense of when it is talk, when we do have conversations about you, it is. She says it all the time. Glavine is one of the most changed kids I've seen up there. And not to say she don't say good things about everybody, but since you're on the stage and it's about your story tonight, Brooke makes that comment about a lot about you. So just know that Brooke and I, we notice each and every one of you. Don't think you go unnoticed. Okay? Most of you, if not all of you, are talked about up here by me and Brooke at home in a good way, almost on a nightly basis. And so understand that, okay? You matter to us. And stuff like this matters to us, okay? You guys are our extended family. And it makes me super proud to see this right here, a guy stepping out of a comfort zone, getting up here and sharing what he did. I hope you were able to take something forth from this. So y'all give it up for Glavine.
Thank you, by the way, Brooke, for saying the nice words about me.
So, Blake, Peyton, if y'all want to go ahead and start, or before you do that. So this right here, I got this QR code for you. I found this app right here. So if you want to try to get comfortable with your story, okay, and being able to share in a sense that Glavine kind of shared how he shared, or if you just want to learn how to tell your story, okay, I would encourage you scan this QR code and start this Bible plan. I know I would love to see how many of you actually are doing these Bible plans and going through with it, because I promise you, if you would start a habit of doing these Bible plans, and like I said, most of them are 2 or 3 days. I think this one's a week long. This one is probably, of all the ones I've shared with you in this group, this one is, honest to goodness, probably one of the best ones I've been through and looked at on the surface level. 1, is super relatable to you. 2, it walks you through kind of how to prepare your story, and do you have a story? Glavine mentioned that. I mention it almost weekly. I don't know where you're at in your faith. I have no idea who in here is truly saved or not. I can talk to Glavine and know that he made a decision. Abby made a decision last week. Leighton made on October 4th. Several of you in here, I've had the privilege to baptize and witness you get saved. But at the end of the day, the only people that know is between you and God. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage you. I'm saying that because of how you live your life. What do you do at home? Do you do a quiet time? Do you have a quiet time? Do you spend daily time with God? And then do your actions out in public reflect that? And if they don't, I would encourage you, man, plug into these Bible apps. Plug into this devotion. Do these devotions. We're going to go into a time of invitation. We're actually going to kill a live feed.